able to partner. We are not linked to each other in any sort of way, but we definitely love doing life together and sharing this journey. So I'm going to ask Jill to come up and share a little bit about the company of Arbonne and our Arbonne Advantage. I'm trying to find the best place for this, Jill. I forget how we had a box last time, I think. We had it propped up. That's okay. You can be seen. I'll just move my chair. Okay, so how are you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me? I have really bad hearing, so I don't know how loud I'm talking.
Well, it doesn't have to be
I know, right? Okay, so I was introduced to Arbonne about 9.5 years ago, almost 10. Crazy. Who here has heard of Arbonne before outside of the person who invited you? Yeah, that's not surprising. Arbonne has been the best kept secret for about 38 years. How awesome is that? We have only a 3% brand awareness here in the United States, which is really awesome because that means I can't throw the rock down the street and hit the next 5 Arbonne consultants within the next block, right? So that's a really great foundation for building a business. It means my market's not oversaturated, right? And I'm going to use my notes tonight because I get really passionate about this stuff. And I literally could talk all night, and my son is with me tonight, and his patience won't last that long. So anyway, we are in 7 different countries right now: the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Poland, Taiwan. Yes. I'm not even looking at my notes. Australia, the UK. Anyway, and we are just continuing to grow. Now, while I may not know somebody in each of those countries, the cool thing is, especially with social media today, chances are I know someone in each of those countries, and guess what? I could get paid on somebody washing their hair in Australia. How cool is that? So, it's since 1980. We've been providing pure, safe, and beneficial products. We have been green before it was the cool thing going. We've been green since the very beginning. We provide cutting-edge research, and we're always ahead of the curve. We are very, very proud of our Swiss heritage, and we adhere to the European Union. I want to stop here real quickly and share with you why that's so important to me personally. I have a son with autism, and he, since he was probably 4 or 5 years old, so super sensitive to everything. And I mean everything that came into our house. I'll just give you a really quick example. We went through everything biomedically with him. We were treating him. He was heavy metal toxic. So we were going through a process called chelation. And we were having to do urine samples, urine tests, periodically to make sure all of his liver functions and everything were good. But we would test the heavy metals. And one particular heavy metal kept coming out in his urine. It was called bismuth. And I was like, where in the world is he getting that from, right? So the only source I knew of was Pepto-Bismol. We didn't have any in the house, right? So I asked his doctor, where in the world is he getting that from? Because I certainly don't want to be putting it back in if we're working so hard to get it out, right? And she said, well, Jill, it's in your makeup. And I said, what? So she was like, yeah. So go home, check your bottles. And sure enough, it was in there. And I could share the whole long story with you, but I'm going to spare you all the details tonight. But long story short, my next question was, but he's not wearing it. How's it getting in his urine? She said, you're hugging him, right? Yeah. She was like, it's that of mineral oil through that saran wrap, right? The other thing with that is your skin can't breathe either, so you're clogging your pores. It is also a petroleum so we don't need to, we need to control what we can, in terms of carcinogens. We also don't use any other petroleum-based ingredients such as toluene or benzene. No hydroquinone, no formaldehyde, no phthalates, and no parabens either. Parabens are important because they've been linked to breast cancer in recent studies. And unfortunately, you can't just trust that a bottle says, oh, it's an organic shampoo. Organic still can have parabens in it. Yeah. I have a story there too, but out of this, I have stories for everything. That's why I have notes.
You're so good, Joe. That's discipline.
Okay, so we're also hypoallergenic. We're dermatologist tested, which is really important because dermatologists recommended just means that they set it on their counter and said, hey, why don't you buy this product? It's great. Dermatologist tested means they tested every ingredient and every single ingredient in that product. So it's really important. That's a huge difference. We don't have any animal byproducts. We are vegan certified. Now, guys, I eat meat. So why is it important for our products to be vegan? Well, go home and Google animal rendering plants. And I promise you, you'll never want to put another product on your body that has animal byproducts in it. And the vast majority of products that are made here in the United States are going to have them in it. Okay, we are also cruelty-free. We don't contain any artificial dyes, artificial flavors, or artificial sweeteners, which is one of the things that I think sets us apart in the marketplace. There's so many great companies out there, but a lot of them, look at them really closely, they're going to have artificial sweeteners in them, and those can do a number on your health. We also do not have any gluten in any of our products. You guys know that the U.S. labeling laws allow 20 parts per million. If it has less than 20 parts per million in it, it can be labeled gluten-free. Pretty scary, right? Think of someone who has celiac, or my son who couldn't have any gluten at all. One little minute crumb would send him into a tailspin. We couldn't trust the gluten-free label. You have to do your due diligence and your research. Thank God that Arbonne has done our due diligence. There's 0 parts per million in Arbonne. We are also GMO-free as well. Guys, when I found Arbonne, I was in heaven because I was ordering from so many different online stores. I was going to 3 different health food stores just to get our personal care products. It was crazy. But Arbonne simplified my life because it became a one-stop shop for me. We were able to have skincare from both my husband and I. Skincare for my kids at the time they needed the baby line, and as they grew up, they needed the teen and acne care, right? Makeup, they have shampoo and conditioner and body wash. Aluminum-free deodorant. That's huge, guys, because aluminum's been linked to Alzheimer's in recent studies. We have fluoride-free toothpaste. Fluoride is a neurotoxin. I could talk all night about that one too. But let me tell you, my family has not used fluoride toothpaste in about 8 years, not one cavity. So, just saying. And we did have cavities, or my kids had cavities before that. I've never had one.
Yeah. I've had one. Because we met at the dental office. I totally met her. She's like, bite down. I was like, that's your finger. And that's all she wrote.
We have a detox line, which is really what sparked my interest initially with Arbonne. Besides the makeup, I was, that's what we do as moms. But what can I get for my kids, right? I was really super interested in the detox line for my son. Again, I could share a long story on that one. But we also have a nutrition line, which was also really, really cool because he was having absorption issues. So Arbonne's nutrition products are formulated specially so that your body has maximum absorption capacity. So you'd think with all of this that I had to jump right in and be like, let's do this business, right? No. I had zero interest in doing this as a business. I love the products, and guess what? I was telling people about them, but I wasn't making any money off of it because I thought it was one of those cute little businesses like my mom ran out of our house when I was a little girl. You know, the kind that packaged the delivery person delivers the package, and then we set all the bags out on the kitchen table and separated the lotions and potions and lipsticks and, you know, perfumes. And then we'd go deliver them, and we were dirt poor. My mom made no money. It was a cute little hobby, right? As a busy mom of 3 kids, one with special needs, I had zero time for a hobby, so zero interest. So I told my sponsor, I want the products at the best discount I can possibly get because we didn't have a preferred client program back then. But don't even talk to me about the business. I don't want to hear it. So, yeah. Really? Anyway, so, you know, it's funny because not too long thereafter, my husband and I we had moved into a new house, doubled our house size, doubled our house payments, doubled our utilities, everything, right? But then a funny thing happened. The economy tanked. And so did my husband's bonuses at work, which the bonuses were significant, but it was more than a lot of people make full time. And we were dependent upon those bonuses to make ends meet. So you'd think at that point I would have said, let's take a look at this. No, I decided that I would go back to work full time after being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years, which is great because I got to have adult conversations. It was awesome. And I loved it. I was an educational advocate for kids with special needs, so it was right up my alley, right? But I call that my little honeymoon period. The first, couple of months, I began crying myself to and from work every single day, 45 minutes each way. I just wanted to be back at home with the kids. And gosh, you can imagine how devastated I was when we realized that he needed me to pull him out of school and homeschooling. Devastated. So I'll never forget the day I was standing in Target, swiping my debit card, praying, please God, let it go through. Please God, let it go through. And that's when it hit me. It was like a lightning bolt struck me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending this much time away from my family, and I'm still standing here praying that my debit card goes through. Something's got to give. So I picked up the phone. I said, that Eunice, she's my sponsor. She's at the top level of that company. She must be making, $2,000 a month. That would be pretty significant in my life, right? That would enable me to at least cut my hours back at work. So anyway, I called her and I said, okay, Eunice, shoot it to me straight. How much money do you really make? She said, well, and this was a longer conversation, but she said, I make about $30,000 a month. Woo. Okay. All right. So after I picked myself up off the floor, I said, okay, teach me to do what you do. Well, you'd think I would have listened to every single thing that she said to do. I didn't. I said, okay, great. I did it my own way for a little while, but I call that my played Arbonne phase, right? I played it well enough to where I was able to cut my hours back within 6 months in half at work, and then 6 months later was able to walk away from my job altogether. And I'm so thankful that I did, because I was able to homeschool him through high school. Straight A's, I might add. Woo! And I was a tough teacher. And he was standard course of study as well. So mom's expectations were way up here. He rose to that occasion. But I am so thankful too, because I was able to replace my 13-year-old. That didn't sound right. My 13-year-old vehicle with 200,000 miles on it, with a brand new Mercedes, paid for, which is out in the parking lot, paid for by Arbonne. Amazing. But guys, I get to travel now with my husband. He's a traveling sales rep, and I get to travel with him now. I don't have to go and ask my boss, hey, can I have some time off? Or, which I was the new person at work. I was always the last person on the totem pole, right? Now I get to go whenever is convenient for us. And I'm now working towards retiring him and bringing him home, because he's been a traveling sales rep for about 26 years. That's tough. So I'm sure you guys are not the huge skeptics that I was, right? But I want to ask you something. Do you want to hear about how Arbonne could possibly benefit you? All right, the business side of things. Michelle is going to be happy to fill you guys in. And
thank you.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I hear your story, every time definitely tugs at my heart. Well, hello everybody. I am Michelle Newman. I am a regional vice president in Arbonne, but most importantly, independent consultant. And I say most importantly independent consultant because in Arbonne we all start at the same level. So, and I love that about this business. And we determine where we fall in this company, which is, to me, it's pretty amazing. So a little bit about my journey. I'm going to share before I talk a little bit more about the business opportunity, but I always like to start out with two questions before I get into my part. And the first question is something that changed the trajectory of my life in a huge way, because if you would have told me that I'd be here as an independent consultant in Arbonne or any other social marketing company, I would have laughed in your face. I think that's why I appreciate guests being here so much, because I'm like, gosh, if that was me, I would not be here. Like, I wouldn't have been. I didn't want to go to a home party. I wanted nothing to do with it. The only reason I went to my first Arbonne presentation was because my mother-in-law bribed me, and she told me she'd buy me something if I went. So I went kicking and screaming, but I was asked these two questions. And I always ask you, the information that we share with you, please listen with an open heart and an open mind, because I did, and here we are today. And I can't imagine my life if I didn't really think about that. So the first question is, where will you be in 5 years if you continue to do exactly what you're doing today and you change nothing, especially time-wise and financially? And do you like what that looks like? But for me, I was like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And, at the time, I was working at a university in New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey originally, supervising speech-language pathologists, because I am a speech-language pathologist and a behaviorist by trade. So, and I was working really long hours. I had a 13-month-old daughter who I just saw take her first steps on a video from my mother-in-law a few weeks prior. And, I was like, wow, in 5 years, if I don't change anything, I don't really see anything changing. We envisioned when we had kids, I'd be able to work per diem and do some contract work here and there, maybe have my own private practice. That was not the case. I was supervising speech pathologists and clinical students at a university in New Jersey. I was teaching a graduate course on autism, actually, which is my specialty, at a university in Philadelphia. And I was teaching fitness classes. And all I wanted to do was to be a present parent. And that was not what my reality looked like. And I knew in 5 years, it didn't matter what I did. If I didn't make a change, nothing was going to change. They were like, you had a great year, you get a raise. It was like 3% in the education system. I'm like, are you kidding me? Or 1% because the economy, right? So,
I was like, that's it. I listened with an open heart and an open mind to this information. And I'm going to share with you the income levels. And I think that's where really, like you were talking about that lipstick business, that was my perception too. And then once I heard the income opportunity, I was like, what? Like, is this for real? So I listened and I decided I was going to do this thing called Arbonne. So I made my first mistake on the way home and I called my husband. And I said, babe, I'm going to do this thing called Arbonne and I'm going to get a free Mercedes and it's going to be so amazing. And my husband's like, Michelle. He calls himself the realist. I have several other names I call him, mainly the pessimist. But he said to me, number one, nobody gets the free Benz, which I did earn the Mercedes also, and it is in the parking lot, but nobody gets the free Benz. It's a pyramid scheme, right? And I was like, wait a minute, you work in corporate America, you have one CEO at the tippy top, right? And then you have your VPs, and then you have your middle management, and then you have your employees that are in the trenches, and there is one CEO benefiting from everybody's work. And how do you become the CEO? Oh, wait, the CEO has to die, resign, move on, right, to another career, and then you all fight for one position at the top. Not an Arbonne. The last question he said to me, the last statement that really hit me hard was, where do you possibly see yourself fitting this in? How could you take on one more thing in your life today when you already are overextending yourself, especially with you being a perfectionist the way that you are? And I was like, okay. He's like, you're just going to pull you away from our family, and gave me all that. So I had a lot of fear. And if you're going to look into something like this, typically there's a lot of fears. And I'll talk about those too. But I didn't do it. Well, fast forward a year and a half, almost 2 years later, that family friend whose lunch I was at, I relocated to the Carolinas. Okay, so this is what changed in my life in almost 2 years. New state, South Carolina, new job, but I was still working as a speech pathologist, just in a different school, right, in the school system. I had not only one kid, but 2 kids. So I found out after I moved a few weeks later, hey, I'm pregnant with my second. So I had 2 kids instead of 1, but guess what? My kids were in daycare, right? I didn't even have family local anymore, so my kids were in daycare. So nothing changed, but my friend, when she called me 8 weeks after I had my son, I said, how's Arbonne going? She's like, well, I'm earning my free Mercedes. I'm retiring early from teaching because I'm making way more with Arbonne. And I grew up with her kids. She's at the top of the pay scale as an educator in New Jersey, so you can do the math there. And I was like, And then she said to me, I went to Puerto Rico, paid for by Arbonne. I'm going to Los Cabos, paid for by Arbonne. And I was like, whoa. Like, I was going to jump in when you did, and I didn't. And this is what's happening in your life, and mine is still the same. So first of all, I was ready to kill my husband, as you can imagine. But second of all, I was like, I don't care what he says, and I don't care what anybody says. Like, I am doing this for me, and I am doing this for my family. And hands down, it has been the best decision that I've ever made for me and my family. So, and what I really learned, I had big fears. One of them is that I don't have the time. And what I learned really quickly is I just fit this in the nooks and crannies of my daily life. I started my business in a state I had lived in for 6 months with an 8-week-old and a 2-year-old while working as a speech language pathologist in the schools, right? And I was still able to grow in my business alongside what I had going on. So that took care of that fear. But another fear that I had was sales. Like, I don't have a background in sales. I could not sell you, and I still could not sell you a set of knives to save my life. I love this business because it's about educating people on healthier choices, and it's about sharing something that we believe in. And that's what social marketing is. It's a simple and effective distribution system. And I will tell you, more millionaires are coming out of network marketing than any other industry out there today. 1 in 100 people will be millionaires in network marketing. Now, I know I'm going to be one of them, and I have no doubt that I am taking as many people who want to link arms in this room with me as possible. And that's what I'm so excited about. It's not about the, being in the $1 million club. What I'm thinking about is how many people can I serve when you're at that level and you have that kind of an income? How many lives are you transforming on a daily basis? And that, to me, is the most powerful thing about this business, because you have
traditional retail, which in traditional retail, you have the manufacturer, the wholesaler, the warehouser, the sales force, the retailers, the consumer, right? So you think of that markup. Let me just tell you, that is 80% markup. So when you go into Target and you pick up your shampoo, 80% of what you're paying goes to that middle part. So think about how inexpensive it is to make that, whatever, I'm not gonna throw brands out there, but that shampoo that you're buying off the shelf. How inexpensive is it if you're paying $6 for it? Think of all the fillers in there, and Jill talks about that, those toxins that are fillers. So what Arbonne does and what the network of social marketing does is it takes the manufacturer, Arbonne, right, goes through the independent consultant. Now, when I say through the consultant, that doesn't mean you're sitting in Jill's house and packaging, okay, the lotions, the potions, the bags. No, that's not what you're doing. It goes through your consultant ID. You as an independent consultant have your own website. It is genius. You can run your business from your cell phone. I signed up 2 consultants when my husband, 2 kids, and I were on the beach in Atlantis because Arbonne earned, right? So I've been on 3 Arbonne incentive trips in 3.5 years since I started my business. And I signed up new consultants. Why? Because I had a cell phone and Wi-Fi. That is the power of social marketing. So it goes through your consultant ID and your website to the consumer directly. So that 80% markup, people are like, Michelle, how has Arbonne been able to give you a cash bonus towards your Mercedes? How have they been able to afford to pay for all of these trips for not only you, but when you earn a trip for you, your spouse, and your 2 kids who are 6 and 3? How is it possible that this is legal? Well, this is how. Because instead of investing in the Halle Berrys, right, and I'm sorry, she is gorgeous. Do you really think she's rocking Revlon? I don't know. I'm going to guess no. Colleen, if she was here, she'd say, no, I was in Beverly Hills for however many years, and I know that that's not true. But my point is that they take that markup and we put it into making sure that our consultants are well taken care of. We put it into the research that Jill talks about, the third-party testing and validation in all of our products. So that is how we are able to, number 1, keep the cost down on our products, but number 2, have the science and research behind it, and number 3, have an incredible compensation plan that is unmatched in the industry, plus the ability to travel and have all these amazing trips. So why Arbonne? And I'm going to talk about this for just 1 minute because there are tons. I don't know about you guys. Now, Arbonne, like Jill said, has been around for nearly 40 years, okay? And I don't know about you guys, but I am on Facebook. And I know that I am constantly seeing on people's news feeds all these pop-up social marketing companies, right? I mean, I'm even getting Facebook messages, you should join my team from this skincare company. And I'm like, dude, do you do any research? I drive the Mercedes with Arbonne. Do you really think I'm going to join your skincare team? No, it's not happening. But, you know, and I don't say that. I very eloquently say, oh, congratulations on you and your business. You know, this is where I'm at. If you want nutrition because you only have skincare, then let me know. But why Arbonne? Number 1, we have consumable products. These products wash down the drain. Well, in one form or another, they go down the drain, right? Because we have the nutrition, we have the skincare, we have cosmetics, right? These bath and body, deodorant, right? These are consumable products people are using every single day. Number 1, you're not asking them to buy something else. Not, and I love my oils, but it's not saying, oh, you need these oils, oh, you need this bag, oh, you need this jewelry. No, you need a shower every day, right? You're using these products every day. The only thing we're doing is we're educating people on healthier choices and redirecting their spending into consumable products. So I'll go to sleep at night and I'll be up over 1,000 in sales in the morning. And I'm like, hey, well, what happened? People log in. They have an account just like Amazon. They log in, they reorder, it ships right to them. But we get paid on it. So we have consumable products, timing, and trends. Guys, we are in a health and wellness revolution. You go into Walmart, you go into Rite Aid, it doesn't even matter. You're going to see gluten-free, not GMO. You go on your news feed, and you're going to see animal rendering, roadkill and lipsticks, cow brains and whatever, right? I mean, people are talking about this stuff. This is trendy right now. People want to be educated consumers. So we know that health and wellness is in high demand. The other thing that we know is that people are burnt out and tired of the daily grind. So many people in corporate America, I will tell you, if I talk to someone, I say, are you open to an additional stream of income? Yes, right? People are looking for this. People are burnt out. When you tell them that you have a home-based business that you can run from your cell phone, that is what is exploding today. And that's why so many companies that were traditional retail have finally realized this gem that social marketing is. So we know timing and trends is in our favor. Marketplace demand. Skincare alone, anti-aging skincare, is close to $100 billion a year industry. That's crazy. That's just one of our lines. One, right? Nutrition has tripled. Went from like 12 billion to 27 billion in 3 years, right? Why? Because these products are in high demand. So we know we have the marketplace demand. And this, guys, this is the most important. If you don't hear any of those other three, this to me is the most powerful. The ability to leverage your time. At the end of the day, if you go into an assisted living facility and you ask someone, what are your regrets? No one is going to say, I wish I would have worked more hours, right? No one's going to say, I wish I would have, spent more time in the office. You know what they're going to say? I wish I would have traveled more with my family. I wish I wouldn't have come home from work so stressed every day and taken it out of my kids. I wish I would have had more time to do the things that I love with the people I love. And that, at the end of the day, is to me what is the most amazing gift that Arbonne can offer anybody. The products, you use the products, hands down, are amazing. Anyone in this room who's touched the products can vouch for that, right? That's unquestionable. But the best product Arbonne has to offer is time and financial freedom. I'm a perfect example of that. A year into my Arbonne journey, I was rocking as an area manager, and I'm going to talk about the management levels. But I was doing good, right? Well, 2 days before our first incentive trip in Arbonne on the Oasis of the Seas, my husband got laid off. Okay, no warning. His whole team got let go, effective the next day, 2 weeks severance. Okay, that rocked our world. We were savers. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months goes by. It didn't matter how many letters I had after my name. He always was the primary income earner in our household. That crushed us financially. But guess what? At that point, Arbonne was paying my mortgage. Arbonne was keeping my daughter in her gymnastics classes. Arbonne was putting clean eating food on our table, which if you do eat clean, you know that it's pretty expensive for a family of 4. But my point is that that's when I realized that this is a gift meant to be shared with any and everybody. We figured out he had a year of unemployment. We figured out 2 days before we were going to the Atlantis. So that means my husband was unemployed for 2 all-inclusive trips on the Oasis of the Seas for 7 days and the Atlantis for 7 days, and we were traveling on Arbonne. But that is when I realized, oh my gosh, like this is a huge gift that's meant to be shared with other people, and that is when we were promoted to regional vice president. That Mercedes drives really nice, and I was driving a 2005 Nissan Altima to the ground before I got that Benz. So I appreciate the Benz for that. But that Benz, my kids know it too. They'll tell you, that represents the lives that we're changing, because that's what that is about for our family. And the ability to leverage my time, even though I cut back my hours in the schools, when I promoted to regional vice president and my husband and I looked at our income, I was like, okay, he's like, you're making 3 to 4 times more than you are using your master's plus 30 in the school. Do you really want to keep working and having our kids in daycare? So I resigned from the schools 2 years ago almost, and now I have that time and financial freedom. So that to me is priceless. And Arbonne, if you're looking at a social marketing company, you want them to have 1 or 2 of those key factors. Arbonne has all 4: consumable products, timing and trends, marketplace demand, and the ability to leverage your time. We also have the right compensation. So district manager, you're making about a couple hundred to $1,000 a month on average. It really depends. That's the first level promotion. A lot of people do that in a few months. How many people are district managers or district managers of qualification? Raise your hand. Nice. Okay, that's awesome. So I mean, and a lot of people do that in a few months' time into their business. The second level promotion is area manager. as an area manager, you're making about $1,500 to $4,000 a month on average. Now, I promoted to regional, or yeah, I did promote to regional vice president with, young kids working in the schools. But area manager, I mean, $1,500 to $4,000 a month, and this is part-time alongside your career. My schedule did not look any different when I started Arbonne. The only thing that really changed was my conversations, and maybe I'd have a few nights out. Sorry, honey, you have to put the kids to bed tonight. And you have a willable business. So if you are a parent, that was really appealing to me. I have a business that's willable for up to 3 generations with Arbonne. So if God forbid something happens to me, my paychecks keep coming. The next level is regional vice president. People call this a Benz level. At that level, you're making about $5,000 to $8,000, sometimes $10,000 a month on average. So I have a friend. I have twins. They're twins. They play field hockey in college in New Jersey. They promoted. Now they're moms, young kids. These twins, same network, same family, promoted to regional vice president in 4 months and 5 months into their business. So that is incredible. For me, it took me 22 months. Okay, but 22 months to be at that level and making, $5,000 to $10,000 a month on average, while I was working alongside what I had going on, to me, that's pretty remarkable. And I know that in 2 years or 22 months, if I didn't change, there's no way I would have that additional income and be where we're at. And in the top level of the company is national vice president. And as a national vice president, you're making about $22,000 a month on average. And most people, if you consistently work your business, will be at that level in about 5 years on average. So where will you be in 5 years if you get to keep doing what you're doing today? Will you be making the $22,000 a month on average? How about you guys? It didn't matter how many universities I was teaching at, how many caseloads I was supervising. That was not happening. Plus, I mean, honestly, the relationships, the ability to serve, it's so much bigger than that. My daughter's still begging me, for those of you who are asking, my daughter's still begging me to go to Haiti this summer. I have not pulled the trigger. I think I might wait 1 more year. She's 6. But we built Arbonne, a bunch of leaders in Arbonne, the homes in Haiti. I mean, there's just so much mission work that goes on with this company. It's something to really be proud to be a part of. And you can decide what's for you, whether you connect, you use the products, you love on the products. We do have a preferred client program. You get 20 to 40% off for the year, free shipping to get, started on products. Or the reason you were invited to be here tonight was really to hear a little bit more about the additional stream of income. And that's only $79 to start your turnkey franchise. And then you decide from there what makes sense for you as far as products you want to use. But we don't order inventory. It's nothing like that. But it's only $30 a year to renew. So you can start a multi-million-dollar business that you can run from your cell phone with a $79 startup fee. And to me, that's pretty amazing. And then just the products or the tools that you want to personally be using, so that if somebody says, how's the mascara, you're not like, oh, I'm still using up my L'Oreal. But that's it. That's the turnkey franchise. So if you're like me, there's a ton of fears and a ton of hesitations. Do I know enough people? I'm going to tell you, I have an amazing team in Tennessee and Washington State. Never been to either before I sponsored. I knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. Okay, so who knew somebody, I think. Yeah, it's like 4 or 5. But my point is that it's not even who you know. It's who they know sometimes. Most of my team, actually, my team that's here today, I didn't know any of them before I started Arbonne. Okay, 3/4 of my organization that's spread out throughout the U.S. We will be global. That's part of my mission for 2018. But most people in my business I didn't know before I started Arbonne. So if you know 1 people, you can do this business. And I'm going to tell you guys, you could probably think of 50 million reasons why this couldn't work for you. But I want you to stop and really ask yourself, what if this does? What if this works for you and your family? Where will you be in 5 years, in 10 years, for the rest of your life? What will you be able to accomplish with a gift like this? So thank you guys for your time. We are going to get into the recognition, and then anyone who wants to take a break, go ahead, take a break. If anyone has to get out of here, totally understand. So I'm going to have Denise come up because she's got some really big recognition to share. So I will have you come on up.
Can you go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. Well, hey guys. So,
Go over.
okay. Oh,
Oh, we're doing great. So I want to recognize Stephanie Romero, who just promoted to district manager.
Yay! Come on up. Stephanie, you have to come up. You get to pick your rose. Yay! Well, I have to like two.
So, she was like, her last month she needed a big chunk, and she was like, I'm doing it. And the last day, I think she needed like 700 something. No, like 3,000.
Yeah, like it was a lot.
And she did it.
That's amazing.
I mean,
It's
like,
amazing once you make a decision, what can happen.
She put her head down. She didn't give up, and
I love that.
she's dedicated. So that's awesome. I'm super proud of you, girl. You're gonna go so far. You have what it takes. You just, like Michelle said, you don't know your team yet.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna keep growing.
Once you go district, you can go nation because it's doing the same exact thing. It's just duplicating yourself, and that's the beauty of this business. So,
Yeah. Very, very proud of her, and I'm excited. And she's my neighbor, so I could throw a rock at her.
Yes.
I love it. I'm gonna come up with a new joke. I met her on the streets. There we go. She was her father-in-law was walking the dog, and he was like, "Oh, my daughter-in-law is pregnant." I'm like, "Really?" And she came walking down. I'm like, "Hi, what's your name?" And then we just started. I Facebooked her, I think, and I started being like, "Hey, want to come to our Rossing? Hey, want to come to our Rossing?" I got her. So exciting, but proud of her. And my next one is Judith. She's in district manager qualification. Get your vote! Yay! So this girl is a mama of two. She works like full time. She's super busy. She has another job, and she does just a lot. And she has, when you first start out, you do your launches. So she did like 4, not just the 2. And she just shared it with every single person she knows. And she already signed up a consultant. And she's working on 25 more right now. But
Yay! That's how you do it. That's it. I love it.
And I'm just excited for what's to come. So she's got the focus.
All in there.
Yeah.
ADD, but it all comes together.
I love it.
You know that song,
Awesome.
She's got the look, she's got the look. I was like, she's got the focus, she's got the focus. So anyways,
I love it.
I'm proud of you. I'm super excited. So
And you have some recognition. Okay. So this girl is a brand new area manager. Yes! Totally a big deal. So you'll be hearing from her if you're staying for the training. She'll be training tonight. So definitely, I'm really excited. So make sure you have your notebooks ready to take the class. And we will be going to Jamaica together because she's already earned level 1 of AIT. That is very nice.
okay. Thank you guys.
And district manager bonus, another one. I'm like, give me a yellow one. Yeah. Yes. A variety in there. So yay! I love our bodies. And again, we are not even on the same team, but we just love to cheer each other on.
I met you on the streets too.
Yeah.
We were at the Impact Training Tour, which is in Knoxville, Tennessee. We go, and she was walking with my upline, who is an executive national vice president, and Mary Jane was talking to her, and she's like, "Where do you live?" She's like, "Fort Mill," and she's like, "What? Don't you live in Fort Mill?" I guess. So we hooked up. We literally met on the street.
Yeah, we did.
Oh my gosh. No,
Oh, you got a reputation going now, girl. And also we have some other. Did you have any recognition? And we also have some other district managers in qualification. So Cassie is amazing.
still in qualification.
She is. Yes. So huge congratulations. This woman has more drive than anyone I know, and incredibly strong work ethic. And it's so funny. That's why we say you share this business with everybody. And I love her heart. She puts her effort into everything she does. She's a single mom. She does it all, no excuses. So I just can't wait for her to share in her training as a district manager, area manager, and then for her to be up here as a regional vice president, because I know that's where her head and her heart is, and I know that it will happen.
Walking that stage.
I know you are. I have no doubt. Because you say that, I know it's true. But super proud of her.
I already have my dress picked up.
Yes, so there we go.
I'm
That's
gonna need to alter it though.
okay.
Because I'm gonna lose like 20 pounds.
It's all about we are so big on vision casting in this business, and that's one of the most exciting things. I'm going to talk a little bit about that tonight. And our thing, technically, yes, our newest district manager in qualification, which I'm so excited to launch her into Arbonne. And it is true, I did bite her. It's super embarrassing. She had her hair done. Dental, so I was getting dental work. I was getting my first cavity refilled, and so yeah, she was like, "Write down," and I was like, she's like, "Ow!" I was like, "Oh my god!" And then no, it wasn't that bad. I was like mortified. Those of you who know me can totally understand how embarrassing I was about that. But let her try the skincare, the nutrition, and we've actually been talking probably since like September or something. And you know, when the timing is right, and so she decided to take the leap of faith for her and her two sweet daughters and her husband. And although he was super skeptical, which mine was too, it's okay. That's when we prove it to them. But yeah, so I'm just so excited, and she is in qualification for her first promotion. So I'm so proud of her, and you know, and again, that's one of the things that I love about this business. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So she got her bonus also.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
The sense of success, the next that they have is awesome.
I love it. Well, Jill, thank you so much if you want to come up, because I always love sharing with her, and if you want to come up, I love having the opportunity to share this business with her and share life with her, and for you to come up and share. And then I think that's everything. Yes. So I'm not gonna gift myself roses.
I'll get it. What do you got? Come here.
Well, okay. So this is weird. So district manager bonus. Thank you. What was that called? Sense of success. Okay. And then level 1 Arbonne incentive. And I know that by the end of this month it will be, what am I calling, level 3 is my goal. No, not yet. It's coming. So yay! Well, thank you guys. Appreciate that. And so we're going to give like a 2-minute break. Usually this meeting ends at 9 o'clock. We only have 2 trainers tonight, so I think we'll get done a little early. But if anyone wants to run to the restroom, if anyone, like I said, if you're a guest and you want to head out, or if you want to stay just to hear a little bit about what we're going to share about tonight, I'm really excited about the topics. And like I said, they really are good. This is going to train on her road to area, but also about perseverance and persistence, which I think is important in all you do. And then I'm going to share a little bit tonight on district manager promoting district managers, and also going district. So, and how that also translates to mindset. So, so if you guys want to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll get started. Everyone's like, I have my fizz. I got it. What's that? Oh, Katie. I know. I missed that. I know. Yeah, you guys met Katie. You met Katie last week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, her daughter is so sweet. They just like had the newborn photos done. Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm repetition.
You ready for another? Yeah. Hey everybody, we're just taking a 2-minute break. I think you probably heard that. Yes. Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Try one more time to get her to come tonight. She found out.
I remember you guys saying that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 It's right outside of Atlanta. It was fun. Tiring. I'm so tired. Yeah. Atlanta's so good. Like, they're really blew my mind. Like, 6 lanes of traffic, both directions, you know, jam-packed, 24/7. I mean, it's like, oh my god, they go like 90 miles an hour, so no breaks. So like, yeah, stay right downtown. Not Friday, but Saturday night we stay downtown. We didn't leave our car with together. We're a little walk for ourselves. We went to the Marriott. Incredible. And probably like 5:30. Oh, look at what night. Fine to get in, jam-packed up to like 8, so bizarre. I've never been anywhere so crowded. I'm not even. It was 20 different kinds of people, like international, like international. I like that, you know, but it was an awesome.
Everybody back? Everybody ready? Just want to make sure we end. How you give? Awesome. Okay, we're still broadcasting. We're good. Okay, well, Denise, I'll have you come up if you want to kick off our training. Am I doing it online too?
What's that?
Am I doing it online or people watching? Okay.
Oh, you're gonna move my purse, sorry.
Okay, guys. So, I'll just tell you guys a little bit about me because I don't think I've really shared my story with this group. So, I'm Denise Maggio, and I've been with Arbonne since before the nutrition line.
How long ago has that been?
I signed up in November 2010 when I went to California and I visited my aunt and uncle, and I was, young and wanting to get into the film industry, so I did a little acting gig, and I hated it. It was awful, but I did it. And and at the time, like, so I just had graduated college and I started working at JCPenney and I was working full time. And I didn't realize, they're like, yeah, you get salary. It's 40 hours a week. I'm like, oh, okay. No, it's more like 60 to 80 hours a week, especially come, Christmas time. So I was not happy there, and my family was in Ohio, and that's where we were, and there wasn't anything else to do besides retail. Basically, if you had a fashion degree or a business degree, kind of my background. And so I was screwed, so to speak. Sorry, online audience.
It is fun.
I say words like that. Whoopsie.
So do I. Keeping it real.
So yeah, I am very real. So basically, I was really unhappy because I thought the world was at my fingertips. I graduated, I got my bachelor's in fashion, but then I just was not happy with my life, and that's why I was actually checking out the acting. And then I got a really good offer after that. It was by MTV for like $1,000 a day, but I turned it down because they don't have insurance, like health insurance. So that's why I stayed with like my corporate job. And so I worked for the corporate retail industry for about 10 to 15, 20 years. I don't even know. I losing track. Anyways, so I worked for Penny's for a while, but at the same time, they did my makeup for the show, like for the thing I acted in, and they made all everything was handmade that I did, like costume design and everything. It was short film, but they spent a lot of time doing it, and they did my makeup. And my aunt had this stuff at her house, and she's like, "Try it, Denise. You're gonna love it," because my parents are hippies, and my mom loves herbs. Okay, not that kind of herb, but maybe but my dad did. So anyways, but my aunt, well, I mean, she probably was like, "Your mom's gonna love this stuff too," but she's like, "It's herb, it's like botanically based. There's no animal byproducts." And so I was like, "Oh, awesome!" And so I was totally sold because I loved products. I was like a product junkie. So I hopped on board for the skincare and the makeup because I used it out there, you guys, and I was just like, wow, it feels like I wasn't wearing anything, and I just felt like really pretty, and I felt amazing about myself. And she told me the opportunity, that existed, and I was like, okay, this makes sense. So I hopped in, and I promoted the district, promoted the area. And then life happened. I lost my area. So I just kind of hopped off the wagon for a bit, got my area back. So this is my third time promoting the area. Perseverance, that's one of my things I'm going to tell you about. But you know what? Life happens. And stuff happens, and, you get let down. And I had all kinds of stuff happen again. And anyways, now here we are. So I started a long time ago. The nutrition came into my life when I needed it most. Was diagnosed with an autoimmune, but then they couldn't figure out what it was. Tried the nutrition. After I tried the nutrition, 2 months later, I stopped having the constant fever I had for almost a year. I mean, the nutrition is phenomenal. It changes lives. That's why I hop back in and I really focus on the nutrition because that's what I'm most passionate about. And so our products literally change lives, not just for the opportunity, but you guys share it because there's somebody out there that needs it like I did. So if Mary Jane didn't share that part of it with me, I would never have hopped back in. So I'm really glad I did because I quit. I went from Penny's to Bath & Body Works. I know, don't even go there. But I was a store manager there. They had amazing, amazing benefits. So, Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works is the same company, and that's who I work for. So that's a little bit about my background and how I got started with Arbonne. Now, these last few months have been really fun because I've met some really amazing people, and it's cool because you get fueled by the people you're around. So don't be shy, but just meet new people and establish a relationship. So my training tonight spells out AREA for area, how I got to area. So the first one is A, and that's for activity. And so what activity are you in? What does your calendar look like? Because that's what's going to reflect where you're going at the end of the month. So I want to talk about both virtual events and belly-to-belly events. What do you have on your calendar? Like this could be one. Invite some people and have a listen to it and just share it. We have an event at Push Point that we do that's really fun. And, you can work out and do a cycle class with Michelle. She teaches it there. and does a phenomenal job. And then we talk about the nutrition, a little bit about the opportunity to invite people there. Kim came there, and that's when she, I think, made her decision to hop on board. So sharing it and inviting people to take a listen. And, you know, with Judith and Stephanie, we did tastings, we did sweet potato sloppy joes, and we just had some people over to try it, and it was just fun. So have fun with your activity. Don't make it work. Like if it's work, you're not gonna like it, and it's gonna show. So A is for activity, B activity. R stands for your relationship building. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So if they don't like you, they're not going to buy anything from you, and they're going to sign up with you. So be nice. But seriously, care about your people, take care of the people, and that's one of the things that I love about the detox is, you know, I really try to have everybody I coach through the Voxer app, because it's a walkie-talkie app, and I'm talking to them all the time, like, hey, have you gone to the bathroom yet? Because you should be going. You shouldn't be going every 3 days. Like, I want to make sure, okay, so what are you doing? And you know what, though? It's because I really do care, because that can really make somebody not feel very good. And so having an excuse to care about people and love on people and work with people, that's awesome. And I love it. And you guys really should, too. Like you should. Yeah. If you don't like to care about people, you learn. Okay, moving on. And so basically that's our relationship build, and comment on people's posts. Like they post about their babies, comment, be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. That takes what, 3 seconds? But you're building relationships with your audience, and they're watching you, you're watching them. But not only that, like that makes a mama feel good when you say her baby's cute. Yeah. You know, that's what sound. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay. No. I'm talking now, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
And just like care about people, comment on their stuff, send them a birthday message or whatever, and it goes really far. And then the E stands for expected. So mind your mind, and where's your belief? Are you expecting your goals? And this goes for, you know, the guests too that came. So do you have a goal, like a 30, 60, 90 goal or a 5-year goal? Do you have it written down? Do you know what it is? And in our bond, do you know what your number is? If you don't know where your number is, if you don't know what your goal is, you don't know what your number is, you're shooting for a target, but you don't know where the bullseye is, so how can you hit it? And you can't. So have your number posted, have it posted everywhere. I had it posted everywhere. We ended up pulling out almost $14,000 for my last month. I was like, woo!
Nice.
So it was really cool. My goal was 12,000. So it was really, really impressive. And then, let's see, your personal growth. Like I was reading the 5-second rule. I'm very dyslexic, so it's really hard for me to actually read and understand something. So I listen to Audible. And when I go to bed, I listen to the earbuds because I didn't want it to wake up my toddler, because God knows he needs to sleep.
Yes.
So I would put in my earbuds and I would just listen to a chapter a night, and I would literally I'd go to bed awake because I want to learn. And so I would then apply it, think about it, fall asleep, and then I'd apply it the next day too. And if you haven't read the 5-second rule,
so good.
It's so good. She's tough, man. She makes you move. So basically it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you have to actually act physically and do, move.
Yeah.
So
she's the keynote speaker.
She's going to be speaking at GTC.
Yep.
Really, really cool. So that was a fun, I did not like her very much last month. Because she makes you do stuff. And kind of too, so you got your mindset, you know your goal. Don't get distracted. The laundry's going to be there. The dishes are going to be there. Your floor's going to need swept. The dogs need fed. Well, you need to feed your dogs. The kids need fed too. But I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I could have been doing laundry and not following up with people. I could have been scrubbing my baseboards because I'd be like, oh, it's time. You just find things. Your mind goes crazy. Your mind goes crazy. Okay? And so what are your priorities? Are you really focused on your priorities? And so I want to do a little exercise with all of you guys. Okay, so I want you to look around the room and tell me how many things you see. I'm going to count in my head to 10 seconds, but you get 10 seconds. Tell me how many things you see that are brown. Go.
Cheers.
No, count in your head.
Sorry. In my head? Oh, okay.
All right, stop. Look at me. Everybody, how many things were red? Wow.
Sure.
Yeah. What were you focused on? Because you didn't even pay attention to what was red. And so when you focus on your laundry or you focus on things that get you distracted, your goal, it's on the back burner, guys. You don't even know. You don't even know where you're at. You don't even know where you're going. Pretty cool. Wasn't that cool? Thank you, Tony Robbins.
I love you, Tony Robbins. Yes.
Okay, and the last one is A. This is my absolute favorite. Act like a farmer. Like, because I was a farmer. But act like a farmer, and what I mean by that is you're going to be planting seeds, and that's going to be sharing Arbonne. And then you're not going to see anything, and you're going to be sharing Arbonne, and you might not see anything. And then you're going to water them, you guys, and you're not going to see much of nothing, right? You're going to keep watering them. And this gets frustrating because you don't know if what you're doing really is making a difference or not, you know? And you're going to keep watering them. And I mean, like, it's a cycle. It's a cycle. And mine, I was in my, it was harvest time for me. So keep on watering, keep on planting the seeds, and always have a rotating crop. Because what happens is they start sprouting up. And then once they sprout up, what happens is they get fruit on them. So you'll bear fruit. So be disciplined, plant and water and nurture the people that you're depositing into right now. Don't just ask them once and leave them. Okay? It's all fortunes in the follow-up, and that's pretty much what that is. So that's pretty much my training.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Hope it helps somebody.
Yes. I love having other people come up, and I love hearing other people's stories, because what I hope you get from that is that every single one of us in Arbonne is so different. And my first, when my husband really had his shift in Arbonne, it was on the Arbonne incentive trip on the Oasis and Seas, because he actually got to talk to other, and I earned it as an area manager my first incentive trip. And he got to talk to other spouses and other people on the ship. And he was like, they're no different. They're no different than you and me. So I hope at the end of the day, you realize that it doesn't matter. You'll see a stay-at-home mom next to a lawyer, next to a doctor, next to, my executive national vice president. She had her own cleaning business. It doesn't matter. A teacher, right? It doesn't matter. Your background. And that's what I love about this. So I always love when people share their stories, because I feel like each one of our stories is always so different. So one of the things, if you're here as a district manager on qualification, if you're here as a district manager, if you're here as an area manager, if you're here as a regional vice president, the most important thing that you can do in this business is to share this gift with other people, which I think you got by now. The other thing that you want to do is help them grow and promote in this business and help them duplicate what they're doing. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit on promoting district managers and double districts. So we call them double Ds. I wish I do not have double Ds, but I do have double Ds. I have double Ds in Arbonne. So, no, I'm just kidding. But see, there I go. You got anything goes tonight in our meeting. Anything. But no, honestly, one of the best things that I love about this business is growing other leaders, and that's what we get to do. And that is when you find huge gratification in this business, because you get to, like I said, help other people in a big way. So, one of the things in Arbonne, when we get someone started in Arbonne, is talking about our why, and why we jumped into this. And if you're here as a guest, if you're here as a new consultant, maybe you've had your lunch, maybe you haven't had your lunch. Do you really know why you're doing this business? And, don't make it about the Mercedes. Although, yes, that can be part of it. But the reality of it is, we say you want to have 21 reasons why, and they have to be deeper than just the money.
You know, what will that do for your family? Will it bring you home to your child who you can't stand dropping off at daycare? You know, will it allow your husband, like my friend, she's a principal in New Jersey. She's an executive regional vice president, 3 kids, you know, 32-acre horse farm. Her husband was a police officer. She retired him from the police force at the age of 37, right? What is your why? It's got to be something that really makes you cry. It's got to be something that tugs at your heart, because I love her story, and that's why I asked her to share tonight, because it's so powerful to me. Would you have done it? Would you have stuck it out when it got hard? And would you have jumped back in and had it? And Denise, I admire you so much, because honestly, I don't know if I would have been able to do what you did. And I respect that so much. But, you know, and I guarantee you, yeah, you totally do it. But the thing about that is, think of how strong her why must be, right? To be able to stick through it. So when it gets hard, when you get the no's, when your best friend's joining your team, and then she goes in witness protection, and you're like, where is she? She just read my message on Facebook, and she is not responding to me. I know you're checking my messages, right? How are the kids? Forgets, right? It happens. You all know, laughing because you know. But it gets hard. This business is simple, but it is not easy. It is all between your ears. And last night I did a training for our multi-nation on mindset. And, you know, this business is won and lost in the mind. So it's really important to know your why. Because when your best friend says, sorry, I'm not interested, it's one of those pyramid things, and then you see her a week later join Roden and Fields. Okay, so when that happens to you, you've got to say, my why is bigger than this. And I know that I've got what it takes, and my family, whatever it is, they deserve it. So make sure when you're launching new consultants, you spend time working through your why. And sometimes we take this for granted. So, you know, in our success line, follow your nation's success line and their plan. Typically, a lot in Universal and Arbonne, we say 21 reasons why. You want to have 21 reasons why. And you'll find the first 10 be super easy as you write it down. But those last few can be really hard. So really think about that. I'm going to tell you guys a crazy statistic. When you're launching, well, first I'm going to tell you guys, when you are launching and you are welcoming someone into this business, and if you're in my success line, you know, I'm like, okay, we're going to launch it with somebody, right? One of the first things that we want to do is help you build a team in Arbonne. A lot of times you will have teammates join at your launch. And that happens a lot too. But the point is that you want to start building a team right away. Why? Well, there are many reasons. Number one, if you have a team, it's not about you. It's not just about you anymore. It's about your promise and your commitment to someone else. I will never quit on my team, ever. They deserve the best of me every single day. And if I'm not giving my all, then you know what? That's not fair to them. So I think it's really important to get someone started with a team. So one of the first things that we want to do is say, who do you know who's driven, who's motivated, who's looking for more out of life? Who do you know that you would want on the beaches with you in Montego Bay, right, when we all go to Jamaica? Who do you know that you would want to share a room with in Vegas at our annual conference because it's so fun, right? I mean, really though, those are the kind of people you want to invite to take a look at this business, and you want to get in front of your sponsor, your manager right away. But that's going to help you promote district managers. You know, and a lot of you guys might know, but I was #1 in the U.S. last year for promoting the most district managers in all of Arbonne. Like, woo! That was not for that, but I appreciate it. But I'm telling you guys this simply because I cannot stress this enough. The reason that I earned that accomplishment in Arbonne was because I focused on building other leaders and building team right away. You know, always be on. Always be looking for new people, right? Whether it's someone you meet at the dentist office, whether it's someone, right, that you meet, like I have gymnastics moms on my team. I have someone that was a soccer mom, right? I have people that I've met at the food store, someone I met at a vendor event that was with another company. Okay, so my point to you is keep your eyes and ears open. My teams today, like I said, most of those people I didn't know, you know,
And yes, you have family members, maybe you have people from college. I always say look at your networks, right? Friends from college, friends from grade school, friends from high school. If you moved around a lot, that's pretty awesome because then you've got a network here and you've got a network there. You know, coworkers, old coworkers. Look at those different things. And those are all people too. But keep your eyes open. People you meet at the gym, people you meet at daycare, right? You know, one of my area managers on the team, our kids were in daycare together. And she finally said no to me 20 times. And then she came to my Benz bash. She was like, hey, you were in that Mercedes. I think I'm fun to hear about that. So my point is that you always want to be on and looking for people. The other thing is make sure that you're getting them started strong. Are they getting started and are they launching right away? Are they getting started with products to be using and sharing? One of the first things that someone's going to ask you is, how do you like the protein? And if you're like, well, I'm not using the protein, you know, then it's hard to get someone to jump in and do the protein, you know. So make sure that you're getting them started strong with the tools. And, you know, in Arbonne, it's $79. That's all it requires, honestly. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to build a multi-million-dollar business, it does help to say, here, try this skincare set for a few days. Or, you know, here, have this fit kit, you know, with the nutrition samples in it. So it does definitely help you grow your business. And also the testimonials. People notice all the time, oh my gosh, your skin looks amazing. What are you doing different? How many people have you gotten into your business simply because they commented on your skin? So that is really strong. The other thing is making sure that they are developing that 100-person list, right? And the people who came here early know I was actually pulling out, this is shame on me for not being more organized, I was pulling out my 100-person list from like 3 different notebooks. That's why my bag is so heavy tonight, because my husband didn't have a meeting till later, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go early, and I'm going to bring my 5 notebooks with old 100-person list, because I'm going to hit my trifecta bonus this month, and I need to reach out to some serious people that I haven't talked to in a while. That's how I have a new husband and wife who just rejoined my team, because I reach back out to them. So I think it's really important to make sure that you have an evolving 100-person list. And if you don't know what this is and you're here as a guest, it's okay. It's basically a list of 100 people, exactly what it says. But when you sponsor someone, ask them to launch, you know, for you to launch them with somebody, and ask for 5 names. Who are your top 5? Like if you were sitting down with your board of directors, if you could pick anybody, doesn't matter what their background is, what they do, how successful they are, if they have the time, if they don't have the time, think of the 5 top people you'd want in your organization. That's who you're going to reach out to. If you have a district manager who promotes out of district manager, they are 350% more likely to stay in Arbonne. That's from Linda Parker, who's one of the top income earners. I love her retreats. I love being her success line. 350% more likely to stay in the business. So definitely make that a priority. The other thing is make sure you're getting them, and I'm preaching to the choir here, right? Because make sure you're getting them to the Discover Arbonnes, to these meetings, on calls, you know, make sure you're getting, I love playdates. I sponsor tons of people on playdates because that's how my kids are right now at their age. Get them a team, get them launched, you know, follow that system of success. The other thing is doing it right now and acting with a sense of urgency. You know, they say it takes about 7 to 10 touches to really get someone to sponsor and jump into Arbonne. And a lot of times I find that to be really true. Sometimes not so much, but a touch could be a quick video that they're watching, having them come to a launch, having them come to a meeting, you know, doing a one-on-one. So all of those things are really important, but you have the ability to act with urgency and make that happen really quickly. So why? Number one, you want to get paid as a district manager. You get overrides on your own purchases. I didn't mention that tonight, but it is true. You get paid to shower when you're a district manager in Arbonne, so you're getting payback commissions on your own products. You're also eligible for a $200 bonus, and your first 2 months you're eligible for a $300 bonus, actually. So, you know, and your income go $200 to $1,500 a month. Like, That's really awesome. So make sure that they understand the benefits of being a district manager and the value in that. And this is definitely the best time to go big. Guys, if you are on the fence about jumping in, or if you are in Arbonne and you're on the fence about leaping in and getting soaking wet mascara running off your face, this is the time, because this is the biggest time in our business. March is huge. We are setting up for the biggest month, because in April, we're all in Vegas. Our energy, our excitement is through the roof, number one. But number two, we're launching brand new products. And the pop in your organization will be huge. So the more people you have in your business today, the bigger your pop is going to be. Instead of doubling, you're doubling your volume. They're doubling their volume. She's doubling her volume. That husband's doubling his volume with his wife who's doubling her. I mean, think about that. The wider you are in your business, this is the only time probably in your life you want to be big, fat, and wide, is in Arbonne, because you want a lot of directs, because the more you do, the bigger your pop is going to be. So this is the time to be jumping in. This is the time to make a decision that you are going to do whatever it takes. You know, and it's a season. It's a season of your life. You might miss a few things. You might have to step back in certain areas. You might have to give a little to get a little. But guess what? I'm going to promise you that it's going to be worth it. You know, and also one thing that's really important is to be optimistic about the future and make sure that you're pouring that into your teams. You need to find the good in people, because to be honest today, guys, I mean, you look at even the rates of depression, the suicide, I mean, the negativity that's going on in our world today. People need to be loved on. People need to feel good about themselves. And that's what we do in this business, is we build people up and we find the good in people. And I love this quote, and I think it's from Eleanor Roosevelt, but I couldn't. But what men and women need is encouragement. Their natural powers should be strengthened, not weakened. Instead of harping on a man's faults, tell him his virtues. Make sure that they believe in themselves. The company, you know, what we have to offer, belief is the most important thing in this business. Breathe optimism into people, especially the end of the month, because guess what? Their cup deserves to be filled by you as their leader. If you ever want to complain about anything, you do not go to a sideline, you do not go to your team, you go to your VP, you go to your upline, and you tell them what's going on. Never, ever should you be pouring negativity into your team, because that will catch like wildfire. And make sure that you have no excuses. You know, fear is one of the biggest things that cause excuses. We're afraid to pick up the phone and call somebody, right? We're afraid to hit send on that Facebook message or that text. You and your DMs and qualification, you guys are all responsible for plugging in. You're responsible for being honest and having honest communication, not making excuses, and not doing it just when it's convenient. Because if you do this business when it's convenient, it's a hobby, okay? And you heard from Jill what hobby pays, right? Hobbies in the end will cost you money. If you treat Arbonne like a business, I always tell myself, would I be able to call out of work for this? And if the answer was no, then I was there, right? So make sure that you're committed and that you're truly respecting your business like a business. You know, do not let your team feed you excuses. I say this to my team. I love, and you guys know if you're here as my team, you know I love you guys. But I will tell you, you know what? Like, I've led this meeting. I started this meeting like 3 other locations a few years ago as an area manager. If I didn't start these meetings and I wasn't at every single meeting, I would not be driving that Mercedes. I would not be where I am today. I've missed my son's birthday. Not his birthday. I mean, we celebrated dinner early. It's not like I was gone for the day, but I had my meeting. It was my son's birthday. It didn't matter. My son knows, he loves Arbonne. Okay, they know why I do this business. I literally got diagnosed with shingles. She was like, you can go to your meeting and be contagious. I was like in so much pain, and I led our meeting that night. One day, actually the same day I went to urgent care and was diagnosed. Okay, why? And I'm not saying you have to do this. You're like, well, you're hardcore, you're crazy lady. But my point is because I said I would. Because I said I would, my team deserves it, and they need to know that I'm committed. All of you, not even on my team, deserve it. So I just want to tell you guys, you know, it's up to you. You can make all the excuses in the world. But if you really want to grow in this business, then you will do whatever it takes because you will know that it will be worth it in the end. So make sure that you're big, fat, and wide, right? That you're sponsoring and that you're asking questions, you believe in them, and that your growth is always continuous. You're always sponsoring. You never arrive in this business. And I think that that's one of the biggest things is just make sure that you are working on yourself. Because when you are growing as a leader, your team will rise with you. But when you hit a plateau and you stop working, you stop growing, those districts are going to fall. And your team, you will see, I promise you will see momentum shift in your business when you're working. So as long as you're keeping heart, you're keeping faith, and you're breathing life into your team, make sure that they know where they're at. You know, do you know that you're only 1,900 away from closing it out? Do you know that you're 3,000 away from closing it out? I guarantee you that if she was not telling you, you can do this, I believe in you, I've got your back, I'm here 110% of the way, you would not have closed out that promotion. Right? It was her. I mean, not to say like, not that you're not amazing, but that it's your leader breathing life into you. Yeah, that's it. Keep going, keep going. Because when you want it bad enough, guys, you will make it happen. So I always like to end, you know, with a quick quote. So, what's notebooks? And then we're going to get out of here. I'm sorry. I was like, yes, we're going to be done so early. And it's literally right on time. But this is something that went back to that persistence. And if you were on our training call last night, you heard this quote. But I am reading by far one of, I always say this about all my professional development books. My husband laughs at me. He's like, every book is your favorite book, Michelle. I'm like, well, that's kind of true. But I'm reading a book called Pound the Stone. And it is so good. I don't know if any of you guys have read it. But it's by Joshua Metcalf. But this whole story, it's like a whole story that brings in a lot of different, like, really heartfelt skills and techniques. And but anyway, I want to close with this. When nothing seems to help, go and look at a stonecutter hammering away at his rock, perhaps 100 times without as much as a crack showing in it. Yet at the 101st blow, it will split in two. And I know it was not the last blow that did it, but all that had gone before. And I think that is so powerful, not only in this business, but in life. How many times do we just keep pounding the stone? And if you keep pounding the stone, whatever your goal is, whatever you're going after, you'll find that you will find the results. But it's like reaping the harvest, right? It's something that comes, but it comes when you keep pounding the stone. So thank you guys so much for being here. Sorry, I thought we'd get out early. I gave you a little pump fake, but but I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks again, and bye, everybody.